Hi, this is Kristen Howerton from Rage Against the Minivan.
And I'm Elizabeth Esther from elizabethesther.com.
And you are watching our second installment of Right Mom, Left Mom, a place where we talk about politics and try to keep it civil. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the new VP nominee, Paul Ryan. He was just announced this week, and Elizabeth, I would love to hear your thoughts on this pick.
Well, I was fairly disappointed, if only because I think I see what Mitt Romney is trying to do. Before, I think he was trying to make his campaign about being a referendum on Obama's presidency, and he could tell that that wasn't reaching the really conservative base, who wanted something, they wanted the firebrand answer, I think, to Obama. And so he chose Ryan. And I think that this was a way for him to reach out to that base, to energize the base. But I think what really is disappointing about this is that things are changing. And if we're really for the good of the country, things need to change. We need to stop going so far to either extreme, and we need to find a way to work together. I think although there are a lot of Americans who are polarized right now, the majority of us are really tired of government not working. And what the Ryan pick signals to me is that Romney is saying, I don't care about the good of the country. I don't care about actually working together to get things done. I'm just going to polarize, and I'm going to really capitalize on the divisions that are already between us. Mm-hmm. Because Ryan is, his budget is so extreme. I fully believe in balancing the budget, but you have to do it in a humane way. And if you're screwing over seniors and you're screwing over people who are on fixed incomes, that is not, and he's Catholic. I mean, that's not even the Catholic. I'm Catholic, and that is not what Catholics are all about. So it's very disappointing. That's sort of my gut reaction at this point.
Do you feel like he felt like he had to do that in order to win the election?
Yes, I do. And I think he was smart in the sense that I think there were two ways he could have gone about this. Number one, I think he could have chosen someone who was going to be more of a centrist and who is going to really appeal to more independent and moderate voters, who are the people right now who are just very frustrated with a plethora of issues and really just want to get things done. But instead, he chose to go the Tea Party route to appeal to those people, and I think that's what he decided. This direction he decided to go, because Mitt Romney realized he was never going to appeal to that conservative base on his own. They had already written him off as being too liberal with, his healthcare plan. So he's like, well, how am I going to have to fix that? And that's the direction he decided to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I think we both kind of agree on this pick. That's been my perception as well. For Romney, I feel like a lot of the criticism about him is that he's rather privileged and out of touch, doesn't really understand, the kind of human struggle that Americans are going through. And This pick, to me, did not represent somebody who's going to bring that balance in. I just feel like he picked yet another version of himself in a sense.
He did. And exactly. And you know what? I mean, it's honest. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me how robotic, how completely out of touch, and how just like doofusy he is. He goes to London and he tells them, yeah, you guys weren't ready. I mean, like, how out of touch. I mean, his wife has, how do you even frickin' pronounce dressage? I mean, her I don't even who are you? You don't understand what me and my family have been going through for the past 5 years. It was on that level, it just made me so frustrated.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I've been a little bit surprised. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really think that the vice presidential pick is going to sway many people. Do you?
No, I think you're right. I think probably Romney knew that. He realized he was already sort of behind as it was. And so he's like, well, those people aren't going to vote for me anyway. So, because you know what the reality is? It is true that because so much of the noise gets given to the extreme points of view,
Yeah.
that it was drowning out the middle people. And I do consider myself a middle conservative.
Yeah.
I'm not on the extreme end of it. But I don't have clout because I'm not loud and brazen and like in your face, you know?
Well, I completely agree. I mean, you and I know this, and we'll kind of divulge some of the secrets here, but you know, when either of us are invited to go on a talk show, generally speaking, they want to know, are we coming from an extreme? Mm-hmm. And if we're not included in the segment, right?
Right, but see, and here's the difference, which is people think that TV is real life. You know, TV is entertainment. Cable news is entertainment, and it's drama. And if you can just appreciate it for what it is and enjoy it for what it is, and I have a great time doing it. That's why I love to do it. And sometimes you can get some like element of truth thrown in there.
Uh-huh.
But where I live my daily life is not on those extremes. I don't have enough energy to live with that much drama every day.
No. In fact, Elizabeth, I feel like we're agreeing too much.
I know, stop.
This isn't even going to be a popular thing because we're agreeing. Where do we disagree?
Let's see.
So anyway, I mean, the VP pick, I don't think it's a really big deal. You know, to be honest, I haven't even done a ton of research on the guy because I don't really think it matters all that much. I mean, I feel like the biggest thing I've heard about him is that he's a huge Ayn Rand fan, which I don't really understand the obsession with her because, especially for Christians, because I feel like she's like the antithesis of a Christian. I mean, this idea of promoting self-interest
being selfish is a virtue. Yes.
Yeah, like I remember reading her novels even in high school and being like, man, I mean, this is kind of harsh, like what she's promoting. I don't understand this. So
you know what? I'll tell you where I understand it. It's a fundamentalist viewpoint. Whether or not it's atheist. She was an atheist, but her philosophy was very literalistic.
Yeah.
And that is what appeals to the hardline conservative. And that's why she's their hero, because she was like a literalistic hardcore capitalist.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, yay, she's on our side.
True. But the side that she's on is so extreme, you know, that I feel like, I mean, when you really watch interviews with her, I mean, but what she basically says is the weak, like, screw them. And I feel like we have built our country on being proud. Like when I go to third world countries, I'm proud to know that a child with autism gets services in the U.S., that an adult with severe developmental disabilities is not going to be homeless and begging on the street. I feel like one of the things that makes me proud about our country is that we care for our own. And I believe that to be true of Republicans too. You know, so I guess this obsession with her is confusing to me. Because that's not where she's coming from.
You know what? I think it's the extremism attracts extremism.
Yeah.
And extremist people, they get all excited when they see someone who's all hardcore and sold out and radical. They love that. But the reality is, you know, the real work of daily life and the true accomplishments don't happen in extremist things. I mean, and especially the idea of it, which is why it's completely incompatible to have an Ayn Rand point of view and a Catholic point of view, which Paul Ryan should know this.
Right. Hello, Catholic Charities. I mean,
yeah, it's inconceivable. Stop agreeing with me, Kristen.
No. Well, I mean, so then would you, you know, do you feel like this presidential ticket is extremist? Would you say that?
Because I think I would be more scared if Ron Paul had gotten the nomination.
Yeah.
That to me would signal, holy crap, we've gone completely over a cliff.
Yeah.
Mitt Romney, I don't see him. I don't see him as very extremist, but my personal feeling is he won't win the election. That's just my feeling, and I just want to know Where's Ronald Reagan? Can we not have one Ronald Reagan, please? And come on.
Okay, so when we talk about this ticket, maybe being a little extremist, I mean, do you feel like John McCain could have been that Ronald Reagan option for the
No, I don't think McCain could have ever been Ronald Reagan. No. And not even with Sarah Palin by his side. I think that she did. I think if anyone did, well, I have mixed feelings about Sarah Palin. I truly do, because there's one side of me where I really admire her unequivocal pro-life stand, and I think that that's admirable. I mean, especially to bring a child with Down syndrome into the world, and to accept that it's. I mean, right now, at least from what I've read, about 80%, if not more, of Down syndrome pregnancies are aborted. And I really admire that about her. But just because she had that quality, that's one thing that she was not fit to govern. And I think what happened was, this is what happens. What's been happening in the Republican Party is they see one thing and they're like, oh my gosh, she has a Down baby. Let's make her vice president. Do you know what I'm saying? That's
absolutely
qualification.
Yes, I completely agree.
It makes you a good mother and does speak to your character, but it doesn't mean that you should be vice president.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because I mean, I would assume that most people who are getting on any kind of Republican ticket agree with her philosophically on that. They may not have that life experience, but they're still coming from the same place, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah. I just don't think John McCain was ever going to be. I do think that John McCain did a good job of working with other people.
Yeah.
And I did like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he was going to. He didn't have it. He didn't have that it factor that fired people up.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I mean, I'll admit, I've always been a fan of McCain, and so when he got on the Republican ticket, I was like, this is cool. Like, I really like him. I love Barack Obama, and either way, hopefully we'll have somebody in there who's going to, work with both. And then I was really surprised how and disappointed, honestly, with what happened during the campaign. I feel like he became a different person, and it's kind of sad. I guess he probably had to do that, like you're saying, to energize the base and to make sure he's getting the really conservative vote. But I feel like this guy that I'd always seen as being willing to work with others and rather moderate and, kind of above the fray, he went right into it.
You know what I would like to see? I would really like to see the Republican Party stop kowtowing to the evangelical base. Because, and I know that's going to get me in trouble, I know. But here's the thing. I don't think that the evangelical base represents true conservatism anymore. I think there was a time when they did, but they morphed into something unrecognizable and sort of monstrous to me. And I think that if the Republican Party is truly going to evolve and do what is best for America, it needs to stop being afraid of the evangelical base and start saying, you know what, we bet there are a lot of high or virtuous liberals out there, secular, maybe have some sort of Catholic background, that there's a faith there, but they're just not into the hoopla. They're not into the born again stuff. And, I say that as coming from a born again background. I just think we need, if that's the direction I think the Republican Party needs to move, I think it means we would probably lose a few elections, but that would need to be okay. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Well, I think we should make this our next topic, this whole marriage, incestuous relationship between the evangelicals and the Republican Party. Because I think there's a whole lot there.
We could do 5 sessions on that one, Chris.
Seriously. All right. So thanks for watching this issue of Right Mom, Left Mom. And stay tuned. Hopefully Elizabeth and I will next time tackle some of this evangelical Republican brouhaha.
Maybe we'll disagree.
Pull out our Bibles. Bye.
Bye.